Sup. My name is Ryu for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Welcome to Tech Tuesday! Damn, my hand hurts now. Today on Tech Tuesday, we're actually talking about multitudes of cards. The main feature of this Tech Tuesday is stumbling. So, besides stumbling, we're going to be talking about stumbling, tragedy, yes I said tragedy, Windstorm, Etaua, no entry, and Labyrinth of Nightmare all in one video with a few other things. So we're just going to jump to something else real quick so you can see that, and then we'll come back in about like 30 seconds and we're going to do that. What I quickly want to announce is that we launched the YugiTube network, which is our Facebook group, and it's basically to help get any and all YugiTubers out there a little bit more and help basically pull the community together on a different resource and basically just give each other tips. But anyway, let's jump over to what I have surprise for you. Alright, you guys asked for it, and I'm going to give it to you. This is featuring stumbling, and I know it's not against the, all-end meta, but as I said during the video, this isn't meant to be meta-based. And the other thing I want to mention real quick is that I kind of on a quick time schedule, so I just grabbed whatever I could just to basically break this down. Week to MST, Dust Tornado, things of that sort, Spell Shattering Arrow, Fairy Wind, shit that we've talked about for weeks, and combos really nicely with the other card. I forgot what the other card was now. It's the tip of my tongue, and it's probably right in the Tech Tuesday thing. Also combos really nice with Tragedy. I think you see Tragedy at this point somewhere in this video. Just trying to look for this damn card. Can't remember what it's called. Oh, there we go. It combos really nicely with Labyrinth of Nightmare. And you'll actually see why I think it's Labyrinth of Nightmare. But stumbling just allows you to control your opponent's board if you have stuff like Blade Rabbit, which you can see on the side there, hence why I actually have that. Basically, if you have two Blade Rabbits and a Utopia, it's pretty much GG, but it's really slow GG. Exciton Knight, MST, this is all going to kill it off. Here's Tragedy. She's got the 7 tools. We had a little argument there. So, supposedly I was being an asshole for saying low, but that's the case for another story. So the thing with Tragedy is stumbling will activate, putting the monster in defense position, allowing Tragedy to work. Blade Rabbit also works off stumbling. Stabbling. I like that. Stabbling. Also works stumbling. But there you pretty much go. I'm just going to let the rest of this play. Well, I talked about a few other things for this basically tech. There are probably more uses for this that I haven't really found out yet. There's guard penalty. Pretty much anything that hits defense position, stumbling, you get to draw a card off it. It would have been nicer if it was more than one, but it's still a nice card. Look at that Blade Rabbit. That bunny's putting in work. Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. There's stumbling. So the one thing I want to mention is that there's not too many decks that can benefit, utilize stumbling like you're seeing now. But it is a good way to slow your opponent down, like we talked about last week on the Summoning Sickness video. And if any of you want to see that and have yet to see it, then just ask me. I'll put it in the comments for you so that way you can watch it. Because, hey, I inform you, and you guys get to check out more content from me. I like that. I like that. I really do. I just like that. But this is basically Blade Rabbit, clown control. Blade Rabbit control. He's got that eye patch, giant blade for a tooth, and a carrot. Totally makes fucking sense. The thing though that I really like is stuff like No Entry, Windstorm, Etaua, which we'll be talking throughout this video. It's just really, really good with it because it just, if you're using monsters like this, you want to slow your opponent down. I think Zero Gravity was also a thing. It did make the final build for this, so there you go. That's just basically show you how that works. And then I think that's the only one we have. Yes. So we're going to jump straight into the deck. Give you a quick little peek at the deck. So that way anyone wants to see it, there you go. You'll see how it functions. Then we'll go back to the camera. Alright, let's go over the deck profile. You get a deck profile inside of a Tech Tuesday with the, the cards that are featured on Tech Tuesday. God damn it. So good. Aeronite Parshaft, Mainly just extra draw power, deck's really slow. 2, Bull Blader. I kind of pulled a Battle Pack 3 moment here. He's just really good for getting threats out of the way because everything's in defense. 3, Crash Clown. I want to say Crash Clown. Yeah, I think that's right. 3, Crash Clown. 2, Summoner Monk. And 3, Dream Clown with 3, Blade Rabbit. 3, reinforcements to the army. Even when they're dead, you ditch Crit Monk. 3, Pod Duality. 3, MST. 2, Guard Penalty. Something we're talking about here on Tech Tuesday. Stumbling. Also talking, that's the main feature on here on Tech Tuesday. Tragedy, which works really nice with Stumbling, because any defense position monster is going to be destroyed, and it's hilarious as hell. Windstorm Aquita basically allows you to change the battle position of all your face-up opponent's monsters, and all your opponent's monsters, meaning that Tragedy also gets a benefit off Aquita. No entry. This changes all face-up attack position monsters to defense, triggering off the Blade Rabbits and the Tragedy. And then Labyrinth of Nightmare, which is at the end of your turn, all face-up monsters basically switch battle positions from attack and defense, but there you go. And just to quickly go over the extra deck for you guys, Dark Rebellion Exceed, Utopia, this guy, who I cannot pronunciate, but he looks like he's from Dark Souls, and he's just really good against Monarchs, which can break the setup really freaking easy. 1 Ragnar 0, Black Ship, single 101, Heart and Landraco, OP is fucking this deck. This also works with level limit area B, which we'll probably talk about next week, because I need more time to prep for that. But this is really stupid because once Stumbling's up, can't be attacked. Monsters go to defense and just poop on things for days. Castell, Direwolf, just flexibility. Exton Knight, 2 Daigusto Emerald, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Cowboy, and 1 Daigusto Phoenix. Gotta make use of them Blade Rabbits. Let's go back to the camera. Alright, so the first part of this video is about Stumbling, which reads, I have to jump over my computer because I'm kind of retarded, jokingly. Any monster that is normal summon, flip summon, or special summon is changed to defense position. Remember last week on Tech Tuesday? Can we just get like a little link there? Boop! To last week's Tech Tuesday, you have to put in the comments, where we talked about summoning sickness and basically how people want to see summoning sickness in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's already there. It's just you gotta play the damn card. And this is sort of another way of summoning sickness, but differently. Instead of your opponent being able to go offensively, you have to slow down a little bit. Now, as I said during what you just saw, I'm not sure how many decks could actually play Stumbling. In a short amount of time, I built what you saw because it was fucking hilarious. So let's talk about what can benefit from using Stumbling. Blade Rabbit, Dream Clown, Crash Clown, even Summoner Monk. And the main reason these guys can benefit from it is because things like Blade Rabbit allows you to basically control your opponent's monsters that go on the field. Air Knight Parshaft is another one that you can use because most monsters have really bad defense power, and this just allows you to run over it while also getting stuff back, and your opponent being slowed down till they can top deck an MST or a Fairy Wind, which Stumbling's weak to. Then they're in a pretty bad situation. But most decks are right now running 3 MST. That's pretty much the go-to thing, so it makes Stumbling a little weaker. Now, one other tech I found in here was Guard Penalty. And Guard Penalty actually has multitudes of uses if you have problems going against super heavyweight samurai. You can actually plus off them. It's only be 1, but it's hilarious. Or if you're playing... Keyword, if you're playing Super Heavyweight Samurai, and I haven't had the chance to, and if they go to defense position, you can just draw off it. But it could be a dead draw, so I'm just putting that out there. Tragedy. This is also one thing I really want to mention. Any monster that gets put in defense position, so I'm going to read off the effect real quick. Activate only when a monster your opponent controls your opponent's side of the field. His face-up attack position goes to defense position. Okay, you follow me? Destroy all defensive position monsters your opponent controls. So by using this with Stumbling, it allows the timing to go off extremely quickly and just clear your opponent's monsters up. So pretty much this becomes another giant Raigeki. Now Raigeki's not all that great, and neither is Tragedy, but hell, it's Tech Tuesday and we're talking about Stumbling, and Stumbling slows your opponents down, and when you have that much control over your opponent's feel tragedy is just an instant. Now, if tragedy had burn, it'd be 10 times better than it already is. But god damn it, we all hate burn. Reader, stop that. Alright, let's jump into the next card. Windstorm of Etaua. God damn, we were talking about a lot of shit on Tech Tuesday. Change the battle position of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So, you got a problem with Winda? Put her in defense position. If you're not using it in this deck that I showed before. Got a problem with that big monster, but he's got weak-ass defense? Get that son of a bitch in defense mode and run him over. I've always loved Windstorm of Etaua, but again, it kind of suffers from we're set 5 format, so wiretap and, well, what's the other thing that we run that we don't run anymore? Oh, Trap Stun. Trap Stun and wiretap are really seeing play, and of course the 3 MST. But the point is, by having wiretap and Trap Stun being main throughout the meta, this becomes kind of harder, but it is a funny tech card to use. And if you can actually get it off, you could take a big monster that's a big threat, let's say. Most of the killer forts would be affected by this, except for the towers, which I don't think most decks are running towers, which we should have something coming out yesterday that will actually answer my question, because we were filming this on Monday night, very, very early Monday night, because we just got back, but that's not the point. So, this allows you to slow your opponent down, put him in defense mode, and run over everything. So, this and No Entry pretty much do the same thing, except that Windstorm of Etaua is the better one, because it allows you to stick things that are in defense position that's face up to attack position. Them silly ghost tricks and them silly swords are really light, those are good things. Now, Labyrinth of Nightmare is the final thing we're going to talk about on this video, and basically once per turn during each player's turn, change your battle position or face up monster your opponent controls. It's continuous. Weak to wiretap, MST, Trap Stun. Basic back remover, and Fairy Wind. Fairy Wind's been pretty damn popular. Now, the thing I want to talk about Labyrinth of Nightmare is this also works on your monsters. So if you have something that can plus off it, it's going to love you. But the thing is to remember is it only works in the opponent's end phase, or the players that controls this end phase. So it's kind of situational, but it's fun to use, and it's one that you should give a look at. Finally, I just want to quickly mention to the one person that, God forgive me, I can't remember your name, and I don't want to run over the computer and spend another 2 minutes on this video. So forgive me. Ordeal the Traveler will be next week. I was trying to get footage like this, which I wanted to rename the shit Super Tech Tuesday, but not happening. But the thing with Ordeal the Traveler was that I couldn't get the footage on time to actually utilize it properly, so I didn't want to talk about it yet, but I haven't forgotten. So what I quickly want to say also is if you guys have something for Tech Tuesday you want to see, let me know now. It gives me a week to work on it for next week. And I'm probably going to be working on Ordeal the Traveler, but you know, I could squeeze in more stuff. So anyway, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the suggestions and everything, and I hope you enjoyed this Tech Tuesday. My name is Ryu for the TheYugiohCouncil. I'll be back tomorrow with something else for you, but I will be back next Tuesday with another Tech Tuesday for you, because I know you love Tech Tuesday. And if you did, all I'm going to ask you is to slap the like button into the sky, because as stupid as that sounds, it really does make a difference. And leave a comment, please. Let me know what you thought of this Tech Tuesday over last week's Tech Tuesday, which didn't have all this new feature. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.